Hey everybody, welcome back to The Stuff of Legend. My name is D-Lo and I've got another video for you guys. Today we're going to be fan casting Jason Todd, Red Hood. We're going to be talking about the second Robin to ever enter into the Bat family existence. And there's a lot of really cool stories written about this particular Robin because he kind of goes off the rails after he basically, it's not really spoiling much, but he gets messed up. We'll leave it there. So DCEU Batman fan casting. I'm going to talk really briefly about this before we get started. So one thing that's really cool. Hang on, let me readjust my my camera. There we go. Hopefully it picks up. Okay, you can see I got my Jason Todd red Batman logo kind of thing going on here. But anyway, so back when Batman vs Superman was coming out, the promos and the teasers and the trailers were all hinting that something bad happened to Robin to make Batman go off the rails. And there was like the glass case with the Riddler, like all the question marks and everything, and then there was the Joker writing ha 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 ha. And there was a lot that was alluding to a messed up Robin, and we never got that story. And a lot of people are still wanting that story. And, now we're looking at a bunch of different films coming out and possibly recasting for older Batman to replace Ben Affleck and then a younger Batman for Matt Reeves' Batman. It's looking like we're going to get some more Batman stories up in here. But Jason Todd, Red Hood for the DCEU, we're going to start fan casting him right away. And I'm really, really excited to cast this angry, miserable, broken, mentally snapped Robin, who's fully trained as much as Nightwing is, but with a killer instinct. And so we're going to go ahead and transfer over. You guys can see here, I've simply searched Red Hood, and you can see that down here it says played by Jensen Ackles. If I'm not mistaken, I think he actually had voiced the character in an animated edition. I'll have to get fact checked. You guys fact check me down below and let me know if that's completely accurate. I seem to recall that being the case, but I know for a fact he's one of the #1 most fan cast actors to play him. He's not on my list because, for one, I think he's a little bit too old, and I do also think that Jensen Ackles is a little bit closer in my estimation to someone, say, like the Green Lantern, or he's very serious. I think he could play probably Batman really well. Jensen Ackles, though, I have a hard time seeing him as Jason Todd, and that might sound hypocritical when you see the rest of my list, but I'm going to try to keep it within the realm of, I suppose, characters that are somewhere between the range of like 20, let me see if I can pull this up really quick. I wanted to be as accurate as possible for you guys. So let me see if I can get this in here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Charlie Hanley, let me take yours really quick. Hi, Daniel. Taron Egerton, he says. Yes, I am going to get to that as well. I love Taron Egerton for this role. In fact, I'll probably show you guys once I get to a certain point in this video an art that I did as well. Nevertheless, let me go ahead and jump on into this fan cast. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. I was gonna find the age range here. I'm pretty sure that I had it set somewhere like 3 to 30 was my estimation of the approximate age of these guys. So I wanted to get that here for you. Let me see if I have it right here on my phone. I think I do, actually. Let me see if I could find that. Yes, okay. I got it right here. Jason Todd is, yeah, exactly. So 20 years of age to 30 years of age is the approximate age range I was looking at for Jason Todd. So an actor that can play a role within that realm is where we want to be, I think. Depending on how old your Batman is, depending on how old your Nightwing is, your Barbara Gordon is, that will determine how old your Jason Todd should be. So you want him close, but a little bit younger than Dick Grayson. So let's get into this. First up, Charlie, you got your wish. Fancast forever. This is 29 years of age. We have 5'9" Taron Egerton. Now, most people who know Taron Egerton know him from Kingsman. Kingsman 2, The Secret Service, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what it's called? Kingsman, no, it's Kingsman The Secret Service was the first one, and I can't remember what the second one is. It's escaped my mind at this time. Sorry, guys, it's really late where I'm at, and I'm a little bit sleep deprived, but that's all right. So Robin Hood, he's also known for. He's going to be in the upcoming Rocket Man. He's also in Sing as a vocal actor and a singer, and he's very, very talented in that. The guy is just on fire. Everyone who sees this guy act loves this guy, but I think he would be really cool in the role of Red Hood, and I'm not the only one who thinks this. Let's check this out. Look at all this fan art for this guy. So almost everyone who has seen him act, especially in Kingsman. Kingsman was what set it off, really. But you can see almost everybody's getting on this. I seem to have made myself an enemy of all the bad guys. Or you see like, oh, here's one of Jensen Ackles. Yeah, a lot of people want him, but nevertheless, look at this. So you see this one where he's all battered, bruised, and he's got a busted lip and all that stuff. That's really important because that's part of how Red Hood becomes Red Hood, how he departs from being Robin and becomes the Red Hood. I don't want to spoil that story if you guys haven't read it yet, or if you guys haven't seen that yet, but it's freaking awesome. And if you guys haven't, there's some really cool game series out. I'm not going to say which one exactly because I don't want to spoil that either, but there's a lot of really good stuff out there that you guys should check out for this character. One of the best story arcs in Batman's history ever. It's so good. So then you can see some side-by-side comparisons. I think that his head shape's really good for this. You can see someone did this right here, gave him the red mask. Just a simple red mask, but nevertheless, it's good. You can see this one here. It's kind of blurry, so I'll jump to a different one. This one here, again, you can see the body of Red Hood here, the gun, and then his mask. There's a lot of really cool art. So I think a lot of people are seeing what I'm seeing here. Taron Egerton's fantastic. I think he'd be able to do the physical role very well. I think that he would be able to portray the emotion and the depth and the brokenness that is Jason Todd. And I'm certain that I'm not the only person that has seen this. Clearly, almost everyone, including, I think this was, I don't know if this was Boss Logic. Yeah, this was definitely Boss Logic. But he took the picture of Taron Egerton as Robin Hood and changed it to Red Hood. And it looks really good. It looks darn good. So anyway, I'm going to recap his stats for you guys. Taron Egerton is 5'9" and 29 years of age. So just under 30, which would fit, and he does look a lot younger than he is, but he could play that 30-year-old Jason Todd while you have a 30 to 34-year-old Dick Grayson in the universe as well. And I think it would allow for a good flexible age range for your character, depending on if you want him to be a little older or not. Because Taron Egerton is older a little bit, 30, almost encroaching upon 30, but he looks younger than he is. So that's really good. I like this guy. So next up on the list, we have Lucas Till. So Lucas Till, you guys probably know from MacGyver. He was in Hannah Montana, the movie. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. But more notably, he was in X-Men First Class, and he played Havoc. And so he was also in, I think he was in, I don't know if it was Days of Future Past or if it was Apocalypse. I can't remember which one it was. But he came back for that, and he was really, really good. I like this guy a lot. 28 years of age, 1 year younger than Taron Egerton, and he's 5'10", 1 inch taller than Taron Egerton. So a little bit younger, a little bit taller, and he's really good. I think he's really able to prove himself as kind of like the tough, doesn't really like to follow the rules kind of guy in X-Men First Class. And I think if given the chance, he'll be able to prove himself even more than he has since then, since MacGyver, by playing Red Hood. And I think he'll be really good for that. Also, I wanted to point out, like, there's some funny pictures. Not a lot of fan casting art for him. You can see mostly just pictures of him or him as MacGyver. But one thing that I wanted to, I guess, mention was that he does look an awful lot like Arsenal. So if I were to take this and I would go Red Hood and Arsenal. Arsenal is the white, kind of like red-headed, kind of hick-looking archer guy that's with him. He's basically the prodigy of Green Arrow, and Jason Todd was the prodigy of Batman. So it's basically Batman and Green Arrow's like sidekicks that have like left, and they're kind of doing their own thing. They both have a tendency to you know, be a little bit bad or hurtful, almost criminal, basically. Killers. And they get some really good stories together, but they're basically homeboys. So you can see this. This is the role we're searching for him right here on the right. But on the left, you can see the ginger version. I think that if we were to go back and take a look at Lucas Till, he actually fits that description pretty well too. So if he doesn't end up getting the role of Jason Todd, you could definitely put him in Arsenal. So let me recap Lucas Till's stats. 5'10", 28 years of age. So let's move on. Next up, Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is 28 years old, same as Lucas Till, but he's also 5'11". He's a lot taller than the other two options. 1 inch taller than Lucas Till, 2 inches taller than Taron. And you guys know him. He's from Kick-Ass. He's from Avengers Age of Ultron. He's from Godzilla 2014. And this guy, man, he's a powerhouse actor. I love this guy. He's physically, he looks the role. He looks like a big, tough, intimidating version of Robin, which is what Jason Todd was. Even when standing next to Nightwing, he was pretty intimidating. And so you can see here, there's a lot of images for him, both as Nightwing and also as Red Hood. Sorry, guys. Okay, and so a lot of this right here is him as Nightwing. But let me see if I could find another one here for you guys. This is a side-by-side just image comparison saying they want him for the role, which is good. That's basically what we're doing here now. And yeah, I think, oh, here's him kick ass. That's so funny. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. I think you guys can see why he is good for the role. His physique is on point. He played Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. I mentioned that he was in the movie. I didn't say who he was. And he was Quicksilver. He was killed off absolutely. It was so quick. It was right away. And that was stupid unfortunate. I was really upset by that because I love the character of Quicksilver and they just killed him off. And I love the actor, Aaron Taylor Johnson, but it felt like such a waste to have someone of his caliber just get thrown in there and then ripped away so fast. So I would like to see him get the opportunity to play Red Hood for DC. So that would be really, really awesome. Next up on the list, we have Matthew Daddario. So Matthew Daddario is 31 years old, 1 year older than the bracket that I had mentioned in the beginning, where I said that from 20 years old to 30 years old was where we want our Jason Todd. Well, Matthew Daddario looks like a younger guy that has seen some stuff. He's seen some days, and you can tell by his eyes. So he's 6'3". The guy is huge. 6'3" is giant. 31 is a little bit older, but he does look pretty youthful. His size is massive. But let's just talk about this. He was in Delivery Man with Vince Vaughn. He's also in Cabin Fever. One thing to note was that he's also I believe if I'm not mistaken, he's on Shadowhunters, the TV show, and with Kat McNamara. Now, I want to show you guys some images because Matthew Daddario is one of the most fan cast also for the role of Jason Todd because his eyes, like if you look at this guy, his eyes, he plays a troubled soul very, very well. He plays a guy that is just struggling with his morality. And look at his eyes. Like, the guy's a good-looking dude. He's got the black hair just like Jason Todd. I mean, he basically looks exactly like Jason Todd from the comics. But he also has those eyes that look very, very worn and like he's struggled with some stuff. Oh, this is a GIF right here. GIF, whatever. I truly don't even know how to say that word. But yeah, here's like an art of him. That's pretty good. This one here, I really like this one because it's got the jacket and the eyes look really cool. So I think that these are really good. You can tell why this guy, honestly, I think he might be my favorite. It's between him and Taron Egerton. I think Taron and him are probably my top 2 picks. And I've got a lot more to mention, but nevertheless, he's really, really good. And he's a little bit closer to where some of the older Nightwings are. So it still fits if you're going to have him. He's 31 right now, but he could play Jason Todd that's probably 29, 28. Reasonably, believably, with no issues. And then he could also, because he's older, he could look like a worn out or a beat up or a left to die type of Jason Todd. Just physically worn out. You know what I mean? So let's just go ahead and jump forward. I'm going to leave that there for you guys so you guys can just mess around with that. If you want to find that, just Google him. It's Matthew Daddario. I'll show you the name up top. Matthew Daddario right there. That, and you'll find all this stuff. All right. So next up, we have David Henry, 29 years of age and 5'11". So quite a bit shorter than Matthew Daddario, but nevertheless, he's the same height as Aaron Taylor Johnson, and you guys know him from the Wizards of Waverly Place. He was also on That's So Raven when he was much younger, and then also in I think it's a film called Little Boy. I haven't seen him in a whole lot recently, but the guy was always a really good actor. Whenever you saw him on those old TV shows, he really stood out as someone who was believable, convincing, likable, even when he was being kind of a brat or a not so good brother in the TV show, not such a good son, not such a good friend. He was believable. Very talented actor. A lot of good talent, a lot of good young talent, I should say, comes off of the Disney Channel, and he is one of those guys. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some of these images, but a few other people had seen what I had seen. This one's a really cool image because I think that these fan castings are really like legit. Colton Haynes, of course, had played Arsenal. He played Speedy, Red Hood, not Red Hood, sorry, Red Arrow on the show Arrow on CW. But people were also saying David Henry should get his chance to play Red Hood, and I completely agree. Although I would say I would prefer to see him play him in the movie, in a movie like a DCEU movie or his own film or something like that, standalone, or maybe something on the DC universe rather than on CW. But yeah, I'll take him where I can get it. So nevertheless, here's an image of him. Someone I think just turned that garage shot from The Dark Knight into this. So that's pretty cool. Pretty creative art. Yeah, and then you can just find a bunch more pictures of him. I love it. I love this. I think this is great. So you can see like Nightwing with Stephen R. McQueen, Jensen Ackles. Actually, this is a good fan cast right here. Look at that. Jensen Ackles as Sportsmaster. That's really cool. I like that a lot. That's nice. But anyway, David Henry. Let me know what you guys think about David Henry. He was my number 5. So I'm going to go ahead and recap my top 5 picks for you guys so that we can look over and relist all of these guys. All right. So let's go ahead and go over them again. First up is Taron Egerton. He's 29 years old and he is 5'9". We also have Lucas Till, 28 years of age, 5'10". We have Aaron Taylor Johnson, 5'11", 28 years old. We have Matthew Daddario, 6'3", which is huge, and 31 years of age. We also have David Henry, 5'11", 29 years of age. So that's the top 5 for me. Those are my top 5 picks. Now I'm going to get into I think it's 4 bonus picks that I do also really, really like. And I think you guys will enjoy these as well. They might not be your top picks. Maybe they will be. Maybe they'll replace one of your top picks on your list. So let me know about these guys down below. But let's go ahead and not waste too much time and jump right in. First up on the bonus pick list is Shia Labeouf. So Shia Labeouf is 32 years of age. He's 2 years older than I ideally would want Jason Todd. But if you pick a 34-year-old Nightwing, then it's not that bad. they could still seem like peers, or seem, you could make Shia LaBeouf seem slightly younger if you shave him in the beginning of the episode or whatever, and then have him kind of get scruffy towards the end. 5'9", a little bit shorter, which will help your Nightwing appear much greater in stature and size and intimidation, I guess. Physically imposing, presence on screen. That's what I kind of want for these guys. Now, Shia LaBeouf, if you guys, a lot of people make fun of the guy. A lot of people think he's crazy, and he very well might be. I really don't know where his level of sanity is, but he is a darn good actor. The guy in Fury, going way back to Holes in 2003, Transformers. Now, let me just say, he was in Transformers. I don't like the Transformers series as a whole. I think that it was very misdirected. It was so like crass. It was so I don't know how to say it other than just like, it was just Michael Bay, like crude, rude, inappropriate. Like, it just didn't feel like Transformers. You know what I mean? It focused a lot on the humans, not so much on getting the Transformers, the Autobots, the Decepticons correct. It just kind of had big action scenes, which were really great. I like those, but it didn't seem to push the story forward sometimes. So, but the one good thing about the Transformers series, in my opinion, was that their main human actor was always a good one. So they had Shia LaBeouf and they had Mark Wahlberg, both of whom are really, really good. I always liked Shia LaBeouf. I think he would be great. Now let's take a look. A lot of people have been fan casting him for the role because he is known for raging out really, really, really well. So a lot of people have him as a fan cast for Wolverine for this exact reason. And he is just, he looks like he could play this role. I think that he would crush the role of Jason Todd, specifically Jason Todd, not Nightwing. I wouldn't put him as Nightwing. I wouldn't put him as Tim Drake either. I'd put him definitely in the role of Jason Todd. And yeah, I think he would just knock it right out of the park. I'm going to go ahead and click on a couple of these. They're not really, oh, this is funny. This is the Just Do It. This is his Just Do It video, which was great. Absolutely love that video. Lots of laughs and entertainment. It's kind of confusing when you watch it, though, because it's like, is he serious? This seems like a monologue he was doing, like just testing, messing around. But he gets so into his roles that I think he would just crush this. This would be like watching Heath Ledger do the Joker, in my opinion. I think that Shia LaBeouf would crush Jason Todd in this way for Red Hood. He'd just be amazing. I would love to see that. I see a lot of side-by-side comparisons, not so much a whole lot of art, but nevertheless, it's okay. This one's funny. It's not a good art. That's not a very good art, but it's okay. So anyway, that's all I wanted to show you for this guy. So you guys can do your research, take a look at him, watch maybe a couple of his films or recent TV, that kind of stuff, and let me know what you guys think about Shia LaBeouf. Give him an honest shot. Don't just mock someone because they're funny on a viral YouTube clip or something like that. He's a super, super talented actor. Check him out and let me know if you think that he would be good for that role or not. If he's garbage, let me know as well. So that's Shia LaBeouf, 5'9", 32 years old. I think he'd be sick. So next up, we have Dacre Montgomery. So Dacre Montgomery, you guys know him as Jason Lee Scott, the Red Ranger. We also have him as in Stranger Things. What was his name? I forgot his character's name in Stranger Things Season 2. But he plays that like long-haired kind of hick guy. And I think he would be awesome for the role of Jason Todd. 24 years old puts him at, I think, the youngest member of my list. Yeah, by like 4 years. He's the youngest member of my list. He's 5'10", so he's right around the same average height as all my other picks. But he's a good pick, and I think he would be really, really good. So let's take a look at some images, guys. So let's get in here. Boom. Lots of fan cast for this one. Look at that. Jason Todd. He's got the guns down here. He's got the suit, the armor. Look at this one right here. Kind of the same thing. I think I like the other Photoshop better, though. This one here. Is that him? I barely recognize that. That's interesting. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Ah, hey, you know what? This is a very good observation. He does look a lot like what I had mentioned earlier, Arsenal. So Arsenal is the homeboy, the buddy of Red Hood. He was the disciple of Green Arrow. He was Red Arrow, and then he becomes Arsenal when he decides to use his abilities for not so good. This is what I get for recording at like 4 in the morning. So nevertheless. Anyway, so we got some cool art here. That one doesn't show him as that, but apparently it's labeled as Dacre Montgomery. So anyway, some really, really cool art. I like these. I like that, and I think that as an actor, this guy is proving himself to be extremely versatile. And even though I haven't seen him play someone quite like Jason Todd, we've seen him play the Hick in Stranger Things. We've seen him play also the Red Ranger. And I think that, you know, obviously it's not like if you put those two together, you get Jason Todd, but you get the physicality that was demanded of him in Power Rangers, and then you get the type of more bully-esque character that you get in Stranger Things. You combine those, and yeah, you're kind of looking in that same direction. It's not the same thing, but it's in that direction. And those are some of the qualities that will be required of him to play Jason Todd, who is not a hick, but is definitely in line with being a bully. So that would be accurate. So you could take that and run with it. So I like that. I like this guy. And I'm going to recap his stats for you guys just in 1 second. So 5'10". He's 5'10", and he's 24 years old. So that makes him the youngest on the list. So next up on the bonus pick list, we have Zac Efron. So you guessed it. Now, this guy has been on my list for a lot of different things, and there's a very good reason, because he's one of the best actors around 30 years old alive today. He's 31 years old. He is 5'8", and he is a freaking beast. The guy is more fit than anybody I have ever seen ever. He is fit. He is freaking fit. I grew up watching like Pumping Iron and stuff, guys. Now that's bodybuilding. That's like bulk and mass, but we're talking about just fit and ripped. Zac Efron went from the skinny guy in High School Musical, like a skinny, pretty white guy with like the silly, like long haircut, and now he is jacked. The guy is insane. And I actually had him, I think I had him on my list for Nightwing. I don't know if I shifted him over to this one or if I just have him on both. I forget already. But he would be a solid Nightwing. But yeah, as a bonus pick, I think he would also do a good job as Red Hood. So let me just go ahead and show you guys this. So here we go. Before I go there, do you see this one, this credit down here at the bottom right? I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it pings right there. Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile. That right here is where he plays Ted Bundy, the serial killer, murderer, rapist, that guy. He plays him, and he has to get really like sinister, evil, twisted, broken. The guy has to get absolutely broken for this role. And so we're going to, I don't even think it's out yet, but it's going to be out soon. April 18th, it's going to release in Russia, apparently. And then we'll probably get it shortly after that. But it's going to be freaking savage to watch him in that documentary style video. It's still a movie, but it's going to be kind of designed to be almost like a documentary, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I heard on John Campy anyway. So so he's going to be really sick, and we're going to get to see more out of this guy than we've seen ever. So next, let's take a look at some images. So images of him as Red Hood. Now there's tons of these. You can see, look at that. That's a really sick art. I like that. You got this one where it's full armor. You'd never recognize him, but it's still legit. Oh wait, no, actually it's the same thing as this one, but with the helmet off. There we go. You know what's funny? That almost looks like either Kylo Ren or like like one of the Knights of the Old Republic or something like that. Then you also have, let me see if we could find more of these here. This one's cool. Different, unrelated, but it's him as Shazam by Boss Logic, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's not really like loading all the way, but no big deal. So this is just a side-by-side comparison. This is him in The Greatest Showman, and then you also see this art piece here, which is really cool. I really like these side-by-side comparisons, but it's always really cool when you can get a really good art done. You know, like this one right here is really good. It looks nice. And it's just a close-up of this one, which is the one we saw earlier. But yeah, I really like that. So anyway, Zac Efron, you guys are getting the picture. It's fine. He is amazing as an actor. I think he would be really good for Jason Todd. I think he'd be good as Nightwing, but I think he'd be also really good as Jason Todd. Different styles. You know, one of them's a ladies' man. One of them's an absolute stone-cold killer. But we're going to get to see him play both in Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, the movie documentary-ish thing about Ted Bundy, the serial killer, murderer, rapist. So, yes, I think that we're going to get to see if this guy is going to be qualified for the role, and I like him. So, let's keep moving. Next up on the list, last one on my list for the bonus picks is Jean-Luc Bilodeau. If I said that right, I don't speak French. So, anyway, this guy, Jean-Luc, is 5'10", same height as basically most of my list, and then 28 years old. Again, very close to the same age as most of my list. This guy, I haven't seen in a whole lot. He was in Kyle XY. He was in No Ordinary Family, 16 Wishes, but he's also, what I saw him in was Baby Daddy, where he played a single guy who discovered that he had his ex-girlfriend got pregnant and had a baby without telling him, and then drops the baby off because she just can't handle it. So now he's a single father, and he's living with his brother and his roommate, and he has to learn to be the father to this new baby, just out of the blue. And it's really funny watching him go through those scenarios, but there was times where he was like supposed to be like sleepless and tired, and oh my gosh, and they had like black, kind of like dark circles around his eyes and stuff to make him look really exhausted. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, gosh, he looks a lot like Jason Todd during those moments, because Jason Todd's like worn out. He's beaten to all heck. And I think Jean-Luc, he has a really good dynamic with the other guys on the set, and during the circumstantial changes of the show, you get to see him really upset. You get to see him angry or bitter or go on a rant, or you get to see him like all these different things throughout the show. And it's primarily silly. It's primarily funny. But you get to see these things. Me and my wife watched the whole show like twice. It's really, really good, really funny. And but there's also serious stuff. And during those moments, I was thinking, man, I'd really like to see this guy just do a whole movie, a whole like show where he is entirely in that mode of serious and burnt out and broken and that kind of stuff, because he did it so good. It was like brought me to tears at a couple points, and it was just it's really good. So I think he's a good pick for this. Barely any images for this except for this one where he's basically in a straitjacket, which is hilarious. This one, mugshot. This is from that show Baby Daddy, where he played the character Ben Wheeler. So the actor did not get arrested, but you can see here that he's upset, he's frustrated, he's going to jail, and this is something you would basically see in the life of Jason Todd, getting arrested, and then the straitjacket. You would see those things. So if you guys give him a chance, I know you probably haven't heard of this guy, but if you have and you've seen Baby Daddy, maybe you didn't stick it out for all the episodes, but check it out. There's some really deep episodes that cut you straight to the heart, and it's because this guy is a powerhouse actor. He just needs to be given a chance to shine. So that's why he's in the bonus pick list and not my top list, because we need to see more from him. And so that's why I didn't just say, hey, let's go straight to him. So anyway, I hope you guys like my pick list. Let me go ahead and go over the entire list one more time, okay? So you guys can be recapped totally and ready to make your selections and jump down in the comments and let me know. So first up, we have Taron Egerton, 5'9", 29 years old. We have Lucas Till, 28 years old and 5'10". We have Aaron Taylor Johnson, 5'11", 28 years of age. We have Matthew Daddario, 6'3", the tallest on the list, and 31 years of age. We have David Henry, 5'11", and 29 years of age. That's the top 5 list. Now let's get to the bonus. We have Shia Labeouf, 5'9", 32 years old. He is the oldest on the list. we have Dacre Montgomery, 5'10", 24 years of age, the youngest on the list. We have Zac Efron, 5'8". I think that's the shortest on the list, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I believe it is. Oh no, yeah, it is. Yeah, 5'8". Yeah, youngest. I mean, sorry, shortest. 31 years of age. We have Jean-Luc Bilodeau at 5'10", 28 years of age. So, oh yeah, and one final bonus. I forgot about this guy, David Castaneda. Castaneda, that's how you say it. 29 years old, 6 foot tall. This guy, if you guys haven't seen him, he made my last, I made a last minute adjustment. That's why I forgot about this guy. David Castaneda was in the Umbrella Academy. He's also in Sicario, Day of the Soldado, End of Watch, and We Die Young is coming out soon. But the Umbrella Academy is incredible. The Umbrella Academy is really, really good TV, guys. If you're into superheroes, if you're into just action, or if you're just into some sort of weird, trippy kind of I almost want to call it sci-fi, but it's kind of is, kind of isn't. It's almost borderline like a fantasy, more or less. But it's weird, it's a strange hybrid show that almost doesn't fit into one thing. And but it's awesome. It's like if you could make the X-Men darker and weirder. it's like that. But this guy plays a character in there called Number 2. And his character is rough, is tough. He's got the black hair. He is a total douche. He is a jerk at times. And he doesn't play well with others. He challenges authority. He wears the Robin mask. I mean, he's all of it. The only difference between him and Red Hood is that there's no red on his costume. And instead of guns, he prefers knives. So that's the major difference there. But I think this guy would crush it. And it's funny too, because there's another character in there that totally reminds me of another Bat Family character, which you will see in a future, not so distant future, but very soon. I'll make another video casting for that role, which I'm gonna ambiguously refer to right now. But it's really, really good. Umbrella Academy did a lot in the realm of fan casting. If you follow Boss Logic, he pointed it out. I'll just let that be the big hint. But nevertheless, I think this guy would do a really good job as Jason Todd, Red Hood. So that would be really sick too. So that's my final bonus pick list person. So I went full, all 10. I did 10 actors for this. So anyways, that's good. That'll do it for all of my picks. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate you guys supporting the channel by giving me the likes, by subscribing to the channel, by leaving the comments down below and joining the discussion. I really appreciate those things. Thank you guys so very much. Anyways, let me know who your favorite Jason Todd actor is, who you want to play him in the DCEU, and which one of these sucks. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys stay tuned for more right here on The Stuff of Legend.